Are you saying a code to import auth controller? Is that what you're saying?
To inject auth service in the auth controller.
Oh. I think Rishma answered about the class.
Already have the class here.
They have
See
which
there?
one? Oh, sorry, I've seen it.
See there? Sylvia, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. What should we do?
The same what Leshima said that will create a class.
We already have the class. If you can see the thing.
But the code in there is in Alowenze.
Okay. So
Okay, can I try? Can I try?
no, no, Leah. If only you didn't go look at the other code, then sure.
I did not, and I'm not even sure if the thing I'm thinking is right. I was thinking about a constructor. I don't know if it suits here or somewhere.
Only constructor is part of the class. So yeah, continue.
I don't know how.
Okay, so so let's start with defining a variable which in a class that is private. So it's private. We're going to call we can call it auth service. We can call it auth, but I just say auth service, and they give the type of the auth service. Right. That is not going to work because we forgot an export here. So now if we say that should work, and then we're going to have a constructor. Okay, we say this auth service is what we knew. Auth service. This is how you inject. Simple as that. Okay, cool. Okay, we want we want um we want to what to what to do a login endpoint. First things first, what does the endpoint need? And I believe that's email and password. So if we go to um, I'm supposed to have the types here, types folder. So if we create a types folder and we say DDO, and we're going to say auth.ddo.ts like that, and here we're going to have a class which is going to be let's say login DDO. Okay, just to make sure that we have everything installed. So like we want the class validator. and the class transformer, so that we should write transform. I think that's the spelling. Okay, sure. Okay, so I guess the spelling was right. We say email, which is a string, and we say password, which is a string. Okay, and password, this is like things that we have already done before, so I do believe that you all understand what's going on right now. So here we're going to say, um, wait a minute. Okay, fine. We're going to say is email, because you want that to be email. Okay. Uh, that's is email, and here the password we're going to say is string, and we're going to say is not empty. Okay, so this is standard stuff, and we're going to what? We're going to export uh, that class. Okay. Also, if you remember, we need a validation guide. Reshma, what does this validation guide do?
It makes sure put the inserted values are what is said. Like, why am I alone in the class? Oh,
Oh,
okay.
that's not the
Mes- Eh? Okay.
one.
It makes sure good what is put by user input is string or whatever we said it to be.
Sure. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So here we are creating the validation card middleware. Okay, which we have already done this. So I'm not going to waste much time here. If you have questions, do ask. Uh, but I'm not going to ask questions here because I know that at least I believe what you know what everything is here. Okay, so yeah,
Okay, the question is like basically what are we doing? The one I got your we are doing you're creating the middleware, yeah, authentication. That's right.
this is validation.
For validation. Okay. Then by Baugen whatever. Okay.
Okay, Okay. So we've already done this. So I don't know why we are. I don't know why I am actually writing it from scratch, but sure. Uh, what's that for? Okay, playing to class. Okay. All right. So here we're going to have a video object, right? Which is going to instance, and our DDO class is going to be the DDO class, and our data is going to be uh, request dot body.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I might have missed that Chrome where you were creating Christ transformer file and you're importing friend to class and friend, for instance. For what reason? Like, why are we needing those? What are those? I just know that transformers are decorated as something like that.
Can you start again?
Okay,
Well,
you
but
imported
this is
in the
we did.
middle.
Uh,
Eh?
this this is not from like any like the recent classes. This is like from the beginning because we did validation cards before we did like JWTs and all that. But then to ask your question, this is from the class transformer. I create an instance of what of the DDO against the body so that it should verify the DDO that we're going to pass and the actual body like the of the request. So this is like the syntax or not the syntax, but this is like from the what from the class transformer to so that we can verify um, like what we've created here can verify our request against this.
Oh, okay. I get it.
Okay. Sylvia, you're at the backstage. That you should take it to Cynthia. Okay. Okay. Sure. Um. Now what we do? We're going to uh get the error. So we're going to validate. Okay. So we're going to say errors. Okay, which is going to be a weight. So um, a weight validate, which is coming from class validator, and we're going to validate the video object. Okay, cool. Um, if it has errors, well, it's going to like assign the errors to the error variable. Yeah? If it doesn't have errors, it's not going. Then errors will be null. Okay, so it's going to be if this should be error, not error. errors.length is more than zero, meaning to say that it has errors. Okay, let's it's going to have like an array of messages. So here, this is to just format the messages properly. Okay,
Sir, or if we do the if statement and go directly to console log, is that possible? For
that is not.
example, you say if error dot whatever, you give the variables in the if statement, and in the curly brackets you just go straight to what it is going to show on the console. That can work too.
I don't think I get what you mean.
Hmm. You're saying, Kuri, if there is errors, you're giving the system what it's going to be doing. Eh? So I'm asking Kuri, if we're doing the if statement, you do like if error dot length is less than zero, then in the curly brackets you go directly to what is going to show, not giving it other. I don't know good ways to put command. It was better if I was writing, but anyways, I will just try it on my own.
Alright, alright, sure, but we're not supposed to be taking time here, so let me just do this one fast because it's already 8. So, sure. Constraint. Okay, so here we are going to, okay, the ones that are in the backstage, are you in now? Okay, no, not yet, okay. Um, to use middleware, we say we use, okay, and we are going to use the validation guard, okay, and we're going to say login video like that, okay. So this is basic stuff as well, so it's not waste time. Rashma, what is the status of 500? What does it do?
It's like it's an error from the server, like internal server error. That way the problem is with the backend, not the user import. I'm right, right?
No,
No?
you are.
Okay.
Should we wait for you in the backstage? I know that there's sleepy. I don't know if Maria is there. Maybe you might have questions. So uh yeah. Should we wait for you? Okay. All right. So all right. So that is what? This is the last. Okay. So in our schema, we're going to add email. Okay. And we're going to add password, which is a string as well. Okay. So I'll rest my other one on who's here. So or who is in the show as they call it. I want to migrate this to the database. What should I do? Well, Pauline is here.
Let me go through my notes, guy.
No, that's
Okay,
not
but
allowed.
someone in the backstage. Okay, someone in the backstage can be answering too.
We have changed scheme. We have changed the schema here. Okay. We want to migrate this model to the to the what? To the database. What should we do?
I think it's when we use Prisma.
Yeah, going to use Prisma.
There you should write npx Prisma. But this one is for accessing. I don't know if this applies to transferring to, but that's what I wrote here. npx Prisma Studio.
No,
No.
Prisma Studio is the UI for viewing the what? For viewing the data. So it's
Okay.
X Prisma migrate dev
Oh, okay.
for the same migration. So yeah. Pauline, no, not really. This is this is a Prisma schema So this is like the database side we did in the last class. I don't know if you watched the videos that were sent on the group, but okay. But this is like the this is like database. This is like the database stuff. Okay. So this is the issue or the error that I said the last time you're going to go through it because the migration has failed and well you can read it, but basically what the migration is saying, if you remember, let's start our Prisma Studio, npx Prisma Studio, right? For them. Okay, let's start the Prisma Studio. Chrome. What am I doing here? Okay, let's start up Prisma Studio here. Okay, Prisma Studio. So okay, so we have this, and let's go to localhost 5555. Okay, we okay, whatever is happening right now. Let's just go to the database. Let's check. Okay, guess it was like a network thing. Really? Anyways, okay. So whatever the issue is with the Prisma Studio there, let's just take it in the actual database here. So okay, there's also no data in here. Or am I looking at the wrong database? Okay, sure. I was looking at the wrong branch. So we need to be in the development branch. So here is where the branch is. I was looking for this. Okay, so in our user here, right? Remember last time we created this user. Uh, yeah, last time we created this user. Let me try zooming in for you all to see. Okay, we created this user, right? But now, well, what the error was, okay, is that we're trying to add a password and we're trying to add. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Okay. We're trying to add password and we're trying to add the email, right? But then this cannot be nor. So like the what Prisma was saying or what Prisma was shouting at us for was that hey, you're trying to add like new fields, but then you have not specified the values for that for those fields for the existing data. Okay. Uh, the new data that is going to come in is going to take whatever we're going to specify at the time of creating the data. But what about the data that is already in the database? What should we do with that? So basically, that's what Prisma was saying. Okay, so for that to work, we would say that there should be nor. Okay, so if you put it like this and migrate, so Prisma will create those fields for the existing data, but the what? But the what? But the values will be known. So what we can do, we can do this, but I wouldn't advise this because we do not want that this should be known. So I think for now we can we can put a default value. Okay, we can put a default and a default. Okay, so if we do this, we say npm prisma migrate migrate dev. Let's hope that we don't have network issues again today. Okay, so let's say that we call this user. Okay, we do the migration. Okay, sure. The migration has been applied. Now you see if we refresh this, is there a quick refreshing here? Sure. If we refresh this, delete refresh. Anyways, okay, sure. Now you see here that we have like this field which is the email, and it is what it is. It does not have any data in here, and we also have like the password here. It does not have any data, so that it has created that as no. So I'm just going to, or later I'm going to, I will have to remove this, or we can just do it right now, but then it's going to take a little bit of time because there's a network and all. But then we'll have to remove this so that this should be like, we do not have to have a default value here. Yeah, it needs to have a value. Okay. So let's continue with what we were doing. All right, but then that's that. Cool. So we are in the auth service, right? So first things first, when you're doing the what, when you want to when you're doing a login or when you're implementing a login, you check, right, if the user what exists. Okay, so that we say first check user, okay, which is going to be await. Going to say await, and I don't know, do we have the Prisma client? Prisma, okay, we're going to use this one, not the injectable one that we were doing last time. So we're going to say Prisma client, or is it Prisma client? Is like there? Prisma client. Okay. It's going to say user, and it's going to say user and find first. Okay. What are we finding? We're using the email, right? So we're going to find first where, okay, email, right? Um, where email is equal to what? Data dot email, because this is the login detail, okay, which has the email and password, okay. So sure, login detail. Okay, we're getting this await error here. Maria, what can the issue be? Oh, the message is bad. Maria and Pauline, we're getting there's like an error here on their wait. What is the issue? Pauline, if you can hear me, Maria, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. At first I couldn't. What were you saying?
Okay. There's like there's an error here on their wait. What is the issue?
Sync. There's no a sync.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. So we're going to say user not found. You can say user not found, but I like to say credential mismatch. Okay, credential mismatch right here. So here where there's one step that is needed, but I think I can best explain that after we do register. So my bad for starting with the login. I was supposed to start with the register so that you should understand why something here is going to happen like that. Okay, so let's jump to register. So we're going to say handle register, which is going to be data. Okay. Alright. So here, let's say we're just going to throw the error, and let's create another video in our auth.video.ts. It is going to be the what? The export class register DTO like that, which is going to take in the email, which is a string. Going to take in the what? The name, which is a string. It's going to take in the password, which is a string. Okay. It's also going to take in the phone number. Also going to take in the phone number, which is a what? Which is a string. Right. So this is a string, and the email is email. Okay. The password is string. After that's the phone number is string, and is password is string. Okay. And then for the name, we're also going to add is not empty. Okay. And both the email, both the is sorry. What do I want to say? Okay. Here we're going to say is not empty as well because both the email and password are needed. So both the email and phone number are needed. So here we're going to say is right phone number like that. Okay, and this one is not empty like that as well. So here, right, we're going to say that this okay this data is the what is the register video like that. So first we're going to check if the user already exists. Okay. So to do that, we're going to say const check user, which is equal to await, and it's a Prisma client. Okay, user, right? Find first, and we're going to find first, and because here we're checking if the email and or sorry, if the email and password already exist. Okay, so you can have something like email is equal to data dot email and uh, phone number phone this thing did not the Prisma client did not generate properly. So it's supposed to be npx uh, Prisma generate. So if you generate the client, because here you see that I'm not getting like oh my bad. Okay, so here supposed to get the phone number also in here. Okay, yeah, phone number like this as you go to data dot phone number. Okay, but then it can happen that maybe let's say you want to check if uh, you want to here you're checking if both of them exist. Okay, if they exist somewhere like both of them, all right. But what you do is say that if something or something exists, not they both exist at once, maybe they're not in like one user, but what you're looking for is that if they exist, so that's not an and, that's an or. Okay, if email exists or password exists. So in Prisma you have something called or like that, which is a list. Okay, So here we're going to say email, data.email, okay, and also uh, phone number, which is the data dot phone number. So if email exists or password exists, a phone number exists, like that. Okay. So if check user, if the user is there, right, we're going to say user already exists, something like that. Now after this one here, that's where we are supposed to now create the password. So creating a password, that is a password hash, we use something called bcrypt. Okay. So I'm going to install bcrypt, npm install bcrypt. So this creates a hash of our password. Okay, sure. Now we're going to say we're going here we're creating a password hash. Okay, so we're going to say password hash. Okay, is equal to let's import bcrypt, import bcrypt, right, from bcrypt. But I think we can also uh, let's also import sorry, let's also install the types. So serve dev, and that is type bcrypt. Okay, I think it also has like named what it has. No, can't I just do this? Okay, let's let it update. All right, I think it has yeah, it has named what named exports. So I'm importing hash from bcrypt. Okay, so here we want to create a password hash. So what we do is we say hash. Okay, and it now it needs the data. Okay, so we're going to say data dot the password that the user is using to register, and the sort. Um, okay. Well, the sort it says that the sort is to be used in the what? In the encryption. So basically, the sort is like I don't know the number of yeah, like in bcrypt, like the number. Well, it's like some key or some value that you use. Let's say that you use 10 here, right? It's going to create some hash. But then if you use another number, this hash is going to be different. Okay. So it's also like I think on the encryption strength, I don't know exactly, but yeah, you use a sort. So most times I use 12 and 10, but then I'm gonna use 10. Let me search that. What is decrypt salt? Uh, explain an encryption sort. Sure. Uh, yeah, this determines like the output of the hash. Okay, so a 10 uh, a 10 hash will always output the same thing. If you change it to 11, it's also going to output a different thing. So this is for hashing. That's the salt. Okay, I believe that this should be a promise. Yeah, it's a promise. So we have to await it. Um, now that um, now that we have what we have created the user here. Here we were supposed to create the JWT. Here we are supposed to create the JWT what? Here we're supposed to create the JWT tokens, but because we're not this class we're not focusing on that, so let's just continue. But we create the JWTs here, and then you are going to uh, after you create the JWT, let's say the refresh token, then you update the database with that refresh token. But since we're not doing that, so yeah, it's just we're going to leave it there. So the new user now, we're creating now this user in the database, right? So the new user is going to be await Prisma Prime. You are all silent. Where's my Maria? Here.
We are here following. Oh, and my friend is gone.
Okay. So user there, we're going to create, right? The data that we are creating. Uh, Name is going to be data dot name. Okay. Email is going to be data dot email. Right. The phone number will be data dot phone number. Date created is automatic. ID is automatic. Password here. There's a password in the data, but what we store in the database is the password hash. Okay. So create here you say password hash there. So after you do this, that means the user has been created. So then we're going to just return that new user, something like that. And here on the login where we left off, so here what we're supposed to do is to check the password. Okay. So from Decrypt, we're going to import something called compare. Okay. So if we get to this point, that means a user with an email that is specified here has been found. Okay. So we now need to check the password. Okay. So we're going to say const uh, uh, let's say passwords, or let's say pass match. Okay, sorry, pass match, which is I think it's also let's say if it's synchronous. Okay, so we now use compare. So now it compares the first one is the actual data that we are passing in. So we're going to take the password from there, okay, and then it compares it with the encrypted password, okay. So let's say um, now the encrypted password is going to come from this user, this checked user, the database user. So let's say check password and password like that. So it's comparing the password that we're inputting and the hashed password. Okay. So we're going to check that if the password did not match, right? We're going to then say um, uh, throw credential mismatch like that. Or then just return the user. Here, after this part, you're supposed to generate the JWTs, and after you generate the JWTs, you're supposed to take the refresh token and then update that same user with it. Okay, but in this case, we're not doing that. So yeah, that's that. So let's say we're just going to then return that user like that. So this is how you implement an authentication system. Let's update our auth controller. Okay, so auth controller. Here is the login, and we're going to pass in the request body like that, and going to check if there's an error of credential uh, mismatch, and we're going to respond with 409, whoever is in the class, Maria specifically. What's the status code of 409? What does 409 mean? Maria,
You said stress code for what?
409, what does it mean? Hello?
Hello?
Status code 409, what does it mean?
Hear me?
409,
Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you.
Is it okay? Oh, no.
409?
Like not found?
That's 404.
Mm, I don't know, Rashmi. Help.
Ashma.
That that status code is new to me. Commander, I know it deals with credentials. Maybe unauthorized, but I know that unauthorized is 403 E401.
Okay. 409 is 409 is conflict. Okay. So basically, what it means is that there's a conflict between, okay, like a conflict is like it may be like the data that we are giving and the data that we have. There's some certain there's that certain conflict that is that is that is not allowing us to perform a certain action. Okay, so there is a conflict of data. So in this case, there's a conflict of the user, right, and the password. Okay, so the data that we have, there's a certain conflict with the data that the person is sending, like that's the login data. There's a conflict there's a conflict with the data in the database. Okay, so something is not right for us to grant that for us to continue with what we are doing. So that's what 409 is, a conflict.
So how different is it to unauthorized? Mesema kauli the data that is provided in the data we have is not matching as well. It's like you're
You
just
know,
explaining the unauthorized one.
unauthorized means you don't have you're not authenticated to do something.
Oh, okay, okay. But you understand my question?
Well, I do understand it, but it doesn't make sense.
Okay, when a user is providing information and that data that they are providing is not the data we have, does that mean there is a conflict?
Okay, you're trying to match some data. Okay. Uh,
Mm.
let's say, what's your name? Reshma. What's your ID number? 1234. But the ID number is incorrect. That means there is a conflict on the ID number in this case.
But that ID is wrong, in short.
Yes, because you've given us the data that you have given us and the data that we have a conflict.
Then it can be 403, which is incorrect credentials.
For those is forbidden that you do not have the right. You do not have the right what permission, which is different in this case because we're not dealing with what we're not dealing with. Well, you can use the forbidden, but sure, you cannot enter because that. But then the normal one for this is like a 409. Okay, but you can use the 403 depending on what you're doing or depending on who you are, and it would be okay as well as long as you can back it up. But
Okay.
then, okay, it's not here. Um, and I think also for the longest time for that I was using forbidden myself. I was using forbidden. Then I saw. Then I was going through some resources. Like I was reading some things, and then they were using conflict, and I was like, huh, okay. And then I saw that every resource on that was using conflict. So I was like, oh, so it's not forbidden. So I get what you're saying. That's why I say interchangeable.
I understand now.
Okay, so um, well, Okay, sure. Um, here like that. Let's create a login, which is going to be a link of a link and the rest. What am I? What am I doing? This? Okay, I was out of here. Wow. Okay. Well, I most of you are having network issues. I hope that the recording uh, doesn't have network issues as well. So yeah, I thought we would finish fast, but here we are, not yet finished. So I guess we're not. So I guess you're going to start working on the project on Friday. APKA. It's only been an hour. Okay.
What?
It's only been an hour.
Yeah, we started late, but and on the boats, does it matter? As long as that port is available, we can use any port, right?
So thank you. I think. Well, yeah.
Huh?
Possibly, yeah. Commander, There are some ports that you're not supposed to use.
Okay, like initially we were using port three 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 3,000, and now we're using 2039. So we can use any port that is available as long as it is working, right?
It's available, it's not reserved, and it also falls in the range.
It also falls in what?
There's a range of ports that you should use. So as long as it is in that range, then sure.
Okay, so how can I know that sport is within that range?
Or you search, Google it.
Oh my god.
Simple as that. Okay. So here you see the thing there, email password. There's a credential mismatch. Okay, so that's a conflict as we have specified, and all that, and all that, and all that. So now let's create another. Let's use the network user. Okay, let's create uh, a register. Okay,
I thought we end at 9.
what okay?
Or it has to be 2 hours.
No, I was supposed to start it late. I'm supposed to go right now, but then let's just finish this. It's just a testing, then we're done.
Maria, what do you think? Are you there? Because I scheduled other things at 9.
You can go.
But the class will continue. I can't lose both. Okay, continue.
Reshma, what do you think this is? If you are following the class, why is that error happening here as well?
Internal server error. Why is it
Yeah,
happening?
yeah.
Oh, I zoomed out. I didn't know what we do there.
Well, we have the register here. This is the data. So I think, yeah, this is data. So if you follow today's and last class, you should know what's happening, what is happening there.
It's very, according to the message error, it seems like it's failing to fetch the data, but the thing is alright. The credentials.
Not quite. But yeah, if you've been paying attention, why do you think that error is? Okay, cool. This error is because in our database we already have this phone number. One, we already have this phone number in a database, so this should fail. So Prisma is not going to allow this. That's number one. And on top of that, in our auth service, you guys should be paying attention, please. In our auth service, we are checking this, right? If that phone number is already existing. Okay. So check user, this is true because the phone number is there. So here it has checked, so here it's true, it has shown this already exists error. And in our auth controller, right? In our auth controller on the register, we did not catch that error. That's why that error is just internal server error because we did not have a custom catch for that error.
So you mean the end user is not required to provide a phone number because we already have it in the server?
The phone number already exists. So the user is not in our setup. Therefore, you should only want a unique phone number. You cannot use a phone number that is already there.
But a different one.
Really.
Okay.
But yeah, that was the issue. We changed the phone number. If we change the phone number, here we have the data. See? I don't know why that returned with the 500. But anyways, it'll be right, I guess. Or let's check that was quite short. Okay, I have this as 500. This was supposed to be 201. So that was supposed to be 201. And our request has worked. So this is the password hash, right? This is the what? The password hash from our password, which is password 123. That's the hash, and that's the user data. And now if we go to the login, we log in with I think it was Dave dev.d@email.com. Conflict. Why is that so? Why do we have a conflict?
Oh, so and then I'm just zoning out. Command, I'll just answer based on what you were saying about conflict. Is that alright? Because I
No,
don't know what people. Eh?
no, that's not right. I want the actual answer. This is what happened.
Then I should not answer at all, right?
Okay.
Ew.
Hmm?
Okay.
Maria is there. Well, the answer is right in front of you, and I've seen the answer as well.
That's why I. Oh,
Code.
okay.
Maria,
I'm saying I'm here, but I can barely hear you or see the code.
okay. Reshma, what did you want to say?
I said couldn't. That's why I felt like it was a trap asking me that because the answer was there with credentials mismatched. And then you were asking me, could it like you are looking for another answer?
Okay, I think it's late. Let's finish fast. The answer is that the password here is password 123 with a small letter here, but then on the login there's a capital letter. So that's why there's that error. Yeah, that was the answer. So yeah, that's how you do. That's how you use Prisma. And that was the example with the with the what with the with the simple authentication system. So yeah, I get that network has been bad today. So yeah, uh, and let's all it's good night, so that you should go to your things. So yeah, good night everyone. See you when you see me. It's on Friday. Thanks, Wednesday.
Good
I
night.
have lots of service. Yeah, bye bye.